presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
Your Rangers are rolling. Fresh off another series win, they come into St. Louis having won 5 of the first 7 games on this road trip. With contributions from everyone, this team has become a formidable force from top to bottom. While Busch Stadium is a tough place for an opponent, the Rangers are winning wherever they are this season. Tonight, the series begins with Cole Hamels on the mound, looking to keep his band of road warriors on a roll. It's your Texas Rangers and the St. Louis Cardinals next on Fox Sports Southwest. Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T High-Speed Internet. Now the Rangers under the arch here in St. Louis, Missouri, as they take their show into a National League town for the first time this year. Tonight, the Rangers take on the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome in, everyone, along with Tom Green, Steve Busby. Glad you could join us on this Friday night of Ranger baseball, and it is a hot Ranger team that we've had the privilege of watching in this road trip so far. And Tom, the first 7 ball games, I don't think we've seen the Rangers play much better.
No, it's been exciting baseball, Buzz. The Rangers seem to just concentrate on the series at hand, and they keep winning series. It's not easy to go into Seattle and win a series, but the Rangers did that. They were swept in the series in Oakland early in the season, 3 straight. They lost the first game in Oakland, came back in 3 exciting games to win that series as well. They've averaged almost 6 runs a game. They've hit 18 home runs in 7 games. They have the second most home runs in this month of any team in the American League. Guys who have been hot, Ian Desmond, Mitch Moreland, Kobe Lewis, we watched his game yesterday, was a terrific game, and the bullpen has a 2-0 record, and they're 3 for 3 in save opportunities. We approach this series now against Seattle, and they've got one of their best pitchers, Cole Hamels, on the mound, Buzz.
Oh, you're right about that, Tom. And, you know, one thing that has been a truism all year long, starting pitching has been phenomenal for the most part. Cole Hamels right there at the top of it. Cole, especially on the road this year. 6 starts for Hamels prior to tonight. That 4-0 record, an ERA under 2, just 14 walks and 40 strikeouts. Cole Hamels limiting the opposition to a meager 192 batting average, and he's gone into the 7th inning in 5 of those 6 previous starts. So Cole Hamels knocking it out right and left, and he'll get a chance to hit tonight too, and maybe knock one out of the park himself. But Rangers happy to have Cole on the mound. He has been the ace they had been looking for. So Cole Hamels and the Rangers taking on the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. We'll be back with more from Busch Stadium right after this.
Texas. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. By Budweiser, not backing down since 1876. This Bud's for you. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, a beautiful night in St. Louis. We're going to come back to Busch Stadium with more. And John Radigan will talk with Elvis Andrus. We'll have all that for you coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest.
Season game here, and it is buzzing. There's a palpable sense of two good teams about to face off. The Rangers being the best team in baseball since April the 26th. They were 500 on the 26th. They're now 17 games over 500. They have the best record in baseball since April the 26th, and that's all because of what happens in the clubhouse on a day-to-day basis. Right, Elvis Andrus?
It's a lot of fun down here, man. I think that everybody's doing their part. You know, it's for everybody in the clubhouse. You know, every day is a new hero, and especially our pitching has been the key for us this year. They keep us in the game, give us opportunity, and I think that it makes a lot of things easier for us.
And then you hear that cheer in the background, and you're like, oh, I wonder what fun happened over there just now.
Yeah, they're probably something in TV, or I guess, but that's the way we are, man. We're a big family here. We make sure we have fun. At the same time, everybody know what they need to do, and as long as everybody doing their job, the fun will come.
And then you play National League rules here, not the first time. Obviously, you do it every year, but it's just a little different. It changes the game when you play National League rules, doesn't it?
A little bit. I think the way we play is kind of a little bit similar. We do a lot of the the little things and the fundamentals. So I think that. A lot of, especially after the 6, is when you see a lot of movement. But before that, I think we have pretty good hitters. Our pitchers are pretty good at that, and it's always glad and always good to come to a national ballpark.
First road interleague game of the season for your Texas Rangers, and they are ready with a guy who was on the mound as a National Leaguer less than a year ago. Cole Hamels about to take the mound for your Rangers. We've got the starting lineups and the first pitch for the Cardinals and the Rangers right here on Fox. That's coming up next.
Louis, Busch Stadium. This the third edition of Busch Stadium. This one opened in 2006, and the Cardinals had one of the better records in all of baseball since that time. They have played very well here at home, with the exception of this year. Cardinals last year won 55 games here at home, 55-26, on their way to a 100-win season. This year, the Cardinals not quite as good at home. They are under 500 at just 15-18. One of the big enigmas, I guess, of baseball so far is why the Cardinals have not played well at home. Rangers, meanwhile, doesn't seem to matter where they're playing. The best record in the American League, the second best record, tied with Washington in all of baseball, behind the Chicago Cubs. Rangers come in at a season high 17 games over 500, 42-45. They have a 6.5 game lead in the Western Division, and the highest winning percentage against teams with a 500 record or better. Cubs are second, or I should say the Rangers are second to the Cubs this year. Cubs with a 692 winning percentage. Rangers at 595, 22-15. All the Rangers this year against teams with a better than 500 record. Rangers have won 3 straight. They have won 7 of their last 10, and are 5-2 on this road trip, having won 2 out of 3 in Seattle, and then 3 out of 4 against Oakland. Oddly enough, Rangers lost the first game in each of those 2 series. Well, let's see if they can't turn that around a bit here tonight. Rangers with the best record in franchise history after 67 ball games at 42-25. Cardinals have taken the field. Tom's going to tell you now about the Southwest Airlines Texas Rangers starting lineup.
The Rangers will start with Shin-Soo Choo in right field. Ian Desmond, 7th in the league with a .314 batting average, will bat second. Nomar Mazara is third. Adrian Beltre is batting fourth. He's the third baseman. Prince Fielder is fifth. Rougned Odor, .353 in his last 4 ball games, is at second. Elvis Andrus bats seventh. Bobby Wilson is behind the plate, and batting ninth today in a National League ballpark is the pitcher, Cole Hamels.
And that Ranger lineup will face the 24-year-old right-hander Michael Wacha. Wacha, a 2-time All-State selection at Pleasant Grove High School in Texas. Went on to play his collegiate ball down at Texas A&M, and he has been quite the pickup for the Cardinals. A 17-game winner last year. Throws a fastball, a changeup, a cutter, and a curve. He has certainly above average stuff, and there's a little bit of deception involved too. He's 6'6" tall, so working downhill like that makes it a little tough for hitters to pick up the ball. Only 2 Rangers on this current staff have faced Michael Wacha in the past. Wacha making his first career start against the Rangers here tonight. Well, the Cardinals behind Wacha, coming in at 35-30 for the year. They've on the heels of losing 2 straight to the Houston Astros here at Busch Stadium on Tuesday and Wednesday. Rangers hope that they have problems with this American League ball club too. Take a look at the Cardinals defense tonight. You have Holiday in left, Grichuk in center, and Piscotty is in right field. You had Jerko at first, Matt Carpenter at second. Alid Diaz is the shortstop, and Johnny Peralta at third, with Yadier Molina behind the plate. Now ready to get things underway here in St. Louis. Shin-Soo Choo takes strike 1. Mark Rippinger, by the way, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Choo had yesterday off after getting back into the lineup for a couple of straight games. Brings in a .231 average with a home run and 3 driven in. 85 degrees at first pitch here in St. Louis. 2 balls and a strike. Humidity up around 45% or so. Not a terrible night, but a little bit steamy. Enough to keep the pitcher loose. 2-1 to Choo. Ripped to right center field. Coming on in a hurry is Grichuk. He dives and comes up with it. Randall Grichuk taking that right off the turf as it kind of died out there on him. He had to make an adjustment mid-course, and he takes a base hit away from Choo.
Yeah, he kind of took a circular route to what should have been an easy catch, but I think he thought it was hit harder than it really was. You'll see him kind of circle to his left, our right, and then have to come straight in and make a diving catch right off the ground. So nice recovery on a ball that should have been a little bit easier to catch.
The one out here is Ian Desmond. Desmond, highest average he has had this year and highest average he has had as a major leaguer, 314, as he faces Michael Wacha. Wacha back to the plate. 1-2.
I already have seen 3 of his pitches. The cutter at 90 miles an hour, mid-90s fastball, and a very good changeup that dropped right as it got to the plate. Good stuff from Wacha.
That is shot foul right off the railing in front of the Cardinals dugout.
Last one came in at 98 miles an hour. And you're right, Buzz, as tall as he is, he kind of comes over the top. The ball looks like it's behind his hat. Probably is tough to pick up, and then you add that plus velocity that he's got. He can be a handful. Overall this year, his ERA is 4.91, so he's had some stretches where he hasn't pitched all that well.
Yeah, a guy last year that went 17-7 for the Cardinals in his first full major league season. 2-2 pitch, high chopper over the mound. Charging is Diaz, and the throw gets Desmond by a couple of steps. 2 gone. So 2 up, 2 away. Now Nomar Mazara will come up. Mazara throws of an 0 for 21 streak. He has seen that batting average plummet from the mid 350s down to its current 295. Saying one thing for him, though, he has not let up on his work ethic. The work he has put in has, if anything, increased a little bit. See him out every day, a little extra BP and working on specific things when he takes batting practice with everybody else. 1 ball and 1 strike as Wacha misses down and away.
The other thing you'll notice from Wacha is he doesn't do any walking around. He keeps his foot on the rubber, gets the ball, looks for the sign, and throws it. There's a changeup. I don't know how he's got a 4.91 ERA with the stuff we've seen so far in this game.
Probably get 3 Ranger hitters to agree with you. Now the 1-2 pitch. On the ground, third base side, Peralta. Across the diamond, and Michael Wacha has a 1-2-3 inning with the help of a little defense from Richard. 3 up, 3 down after a half inning. No score, Rangers and Cardinals. Tom's going to tell you now about the St. Louis Cardinal lineup.
Well, former TCU player Matt Carpenter plays second tonight in leadoff. Aledmus Diaz is the shortstop. Matt Holliday is in left field. Steven Piscotty will back cleanup in right field. Johnny Peralta is at third. Yadier Molina is the catcher. Jed Jerko bats seventh at first. Randall Grichuk is the center fielder. And batting ninth is the pitcher, Michael Wacha.
And Mike Matheny in his 5th year at the helm of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cole Hamels going to work, and the first pitch is outside to Matt Carpenter. Cole Hamels making his 14th start, 6-1 at 3.14 ERA and a 2.35 opponent's batting average against Cole. Got a W last time out, snapped a winless streak of 3 straight in that victory over Seattle. Matt Carpenter batting at .288 with 10 home runs and 42 driven in. Matt Carpenter with excellent power up at the top of the order. Also that on-base percentage, .398. Tell you that he spends a lot of time running around the bases. 3-1 as Cole Hamels falls behind. Carpenter leading things off. Elidmus Diaz, the shortstop, is in the on-deck circle. And ball 4. Cole walks Carpenter. A leadoff walk. Let's take a look at the Ranger defense tonight, delivered to you by DeMontrond RV. Mazzara, Desmond, and Chu left, center, and right. Fielder, the start at first base. Odor and Andrews up the middle with Adrian Beltre at third. And Bobby Wilson behind the plate this evening, catching Cole Hamels. Well, Cole issuing the leadoff walk. Now, Elidmus Diaz, the young shortstop. He's a rookie, having excellent success. Batting .312 with 8 home runs and 32 driven in. Diaz getting the chance to start when Johnny Peralta had the thumb ligament injury and had to have surgery. And Diaz ready and willing to step in, and he has stepped in so well that Johnny Peralta is now playing third base.
Yeah, they're lucky they've got Matt Carpenter. Matt Carpenter can play third, he can play second, he can play first, so they just put him wherever they need him. Yeah, this kid has stepped in. He's not moving off shortstop now. He was a Cuban defector back in 2012. Played a little bit in the minor leagues. If you add up his minor league at-bats, it's about a full season. Got the opportunity and playing like an all-star.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Now Diaz, an 0 for 5 right now, but 68 hits. That's third most among Major League rookies. Also has 15 infield hits, which are a National League high. Chops that one foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Ranger infield up a double play depth to step around to the left side with Diaz up there. Maybe a double play ground ball. Odor, Andrews, fielder in time. Rangers, and still nobody doing it better than your Texas Rangers. And Twin Kelly, 2 gone with 1 pitch.
Yeah, I think when you look at the difference between the Cardinals thus far and the Rangers thus far, we mentioned this in the pregame show, the Cardinals have not played good defense. They've made 55 errors. The Rangers have played solid defense, and they turn double plays behind their pitchers, and their starting pitchers are very appreciative of that.
The 88th double play for the Rangers this year, the 78th ground ball double play turned by the Rangers. Oh, that empties the bases now, and 2 outs for Matt Holliday. One ball and no strikes. Holliday, .258 average with 11 home runs this year, 36 runs driven in. Deep in the hole at short, Elvis plants, fires, got him. Well, the double play took care of the leadoff walk. It's a 1-2-3 inning afterwards. After 1, Rangers nothing, Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Tonight's game, we are participating again in the Home Run Challenge to benefit prostate cancer research. After 4 days of the challenge, $1,290,000 has been raised. You can help by making a pledge. Just go online to homerunchallenge.org. Adrian Beltre, first ball swinging, drives a ball through the hole on the right side. And Beltre aboard with a leadoff single.
Hit the ball right to second base. And with the shading toward the left side, it goes in for a base hit.
Beltre coming off a 3-hit game when he got back in the lineup yesterday. 3 hits, including a 2-run double.
Yeah, again, Buzz, it's what we talk about all the time. A 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner, and the second baseman's playing right up the middle, and a guy that uses the whole field hits ground ball to second.
Yeah, and
seems like they got what they deserved with that one.
Adrian is not the kind of hitter that's too proud to go ahead and take that if you're going to give it to him.
You got to be, I guess, a real pull hitter to pull a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with a little cutting action on the outside corner to the left side.
Fritz Fielder takes a bit low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Or if you're Michael Monken, you know you're playing him that way. You can't throw him a strike with a fastball out there.
Yeah, and Molina called it. Molina set up out there, so that's how they were trying to pitch him.
Fielder, a 197 average with 5 home runs, 34 driven in. High chopper could be 2. The Peralta to third baseman, and they turn the double play. So Carpenter to Peralta. Back to Jerko, your normal 4-5-3 double play. That removes Adrian Beltre in the leadoff single. Not much you can do on that. Well, no bases empty now for Rougned Odor. Walker throws strike 1. Rougned, a 269 average, a dozen home runs now. He is the leader on the Ranger Ball Club, 33 RBI. Slices that one out of play down the left side, and the count moves to 0-2. Fouled straight down, still no balls and 2 strikes.
A high changeup.
Rougned brings in a 4-game hitting streak to play tonight. He was 2 for 5 yesterday with a double. And that was in the leadoff position in that ball game. Odor in the first 7 games of this trip, a 290 average. Got him swinging.
With a low changeup.
Pretty good pitch by Walker. A base hit, a double play, and a strikeout. Rangers gone in the second after 1.5. We are scoreless in St. Louis. West is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Now Cole Hamels back to the hill. Another nice crowd here at Busch Stadium, averaging around 40,000. Stephen Piscotty, first ball swinging. And Elvis will take care of that. Oh, one pitch and one away. Oh, Cole Hamels, 3 consecutive ground balls now after the leadoff walk. One out here in the second. Johnny Peralta, the third baseman, will step in. Actually, Peralta had to miss the first nearly 2 full months of the season. Had that surgery on his left thumb. He had a ligament damage. Had to have that repaired. This would rip. And Beltre picks it right off the shoe top. Joe West standing right there, and all he did was look at Adrian and rang his right fist up in the air.
Adrian wanted to make sure he didn't have to throw that ball to first base, so he looked for the call, and he got the call. That was a scalded line drive. Adrian saved his foot.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Well, Cole Hamels has thrown 2 pitches in the inning. He has 2 outs. Now, Yadier Molina, the veteran catcher, will come up. Molina, 278 average. It's fallen off a little bit. It started off like a house of fire. He pops the first pitch up. That's going to be back over the screen and out of play. 0-1.
Did you say the first 2 guys hit the first pitch?
Yeah.
That would have been a 3-pitch inning. You don't see many of those. Usually,
no, you don't.
Usually the third guy takes a pitch. Kind of protocol. Don't let the pitcher get a 3-pitch inning. He said, they might think I'm going for a 3-pitch inning. I'm going to take it, but I'm going to swing at that fastball and surprise him.
He took that one. That was right down the middle. Hamels back with the 0-2. Into center field, Ian Desmond gliding back into his right. And that'll do it. He's got a 5-pitch second inning. 3 up and 3 down. Cole Hamels, the Rangers, scoreless with the Cardinals. Celebrating the first day of summer, come on out to Globe Life Park. Rangers are playing a makeup game on Monday night against the Orioles, and there are still a lot of good tickets available. Just call 972-RANGERS or go to TexasRangers.com. Get some tickets and come on out and celebrate the first day of summer with your Rangers. Now, scoreless ball game. Elvis Andrus, Bobby Wilson, And Cole Hamels, the first 3 Rangers to do the swinging against Michael Wacha. Elvis steps to the plate, hitting at 283. That big overhand curveball for strike 1. Wacha coming off an 8-pitch second inning. That for the tall right-hander, just his 23rd pitch of the night. And he gets right at the knees to Elvis. Elvis really didn't think so.
We should mention that the Stites family from Texas is in town for Father's Day. Father, son, brother, and grandson are here for the ball games.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, I hope all of you are getting a start to your Father's Day weekend.
Seen a lot of Ranger fans over at our hotel.
Yeah.
Very convenient hotel. You just walk right across the street and you're at the ballpark.
Yeah, they're nice enough over there. If you want to have a little golf cart, they'll bring you over in.
Yep.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Elvis.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ballpark, too. Nice view of the downtown area, the arch out in right center field.
And the area out there in left field, just beyond the wall, that big edifice that kind of overlooks the bleachers in left field, that's going to be kind of the idea of what is going to happen at the new Rangers ballpark. Going to be Texas Live, I believe, is what it's called so far in the development stages. That's going to be patterned after that development here. Same company that designed and built this one is in charge of the one down in Texas. Still a full count to Elvis. Elvis trying to get aboard here to start the 3rd inning. High and slicing back out of play. Still 3-2. Elvis took an 0 for yesterday. An 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, and uncharacteristically had 3 strikeouts. But on the trip, he has gone 9 for 29. That's a 310 mark. Ball 4. Elvis draws the walk. 2nd straight inning now. The leadoff man has reached. And before Bobby Wilson steps in, let's send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Dana, thank you. Scoreless ball game here. Rangers have had a single and a walk. Cardinals have had just 1 walk. Their only base runner playing the top of the 3rd inning. Bobby Wilson at the plate. Elvis at first. He will draw some attention from Michael Wacha. Bobby Wilson, average overall at 258. 3 home runs, 16 driven. And he has 3 home runs and 14 RBI as a Ranger. Elvis, a pretty good lead over there. And Wilson, it's a line drive to left. Coming on, though, Matt Holliday. That is out number 1. Elvis back to first base, and Cole Hamels will be next.
Pretty well hit ball by Bobby. It looked like a hooking, sinking line drive. Holliday hardly had to move for it, but a good, solidly struck ball.
The 1 out, Cole Hamels. Pitchers hitting in the National League and Interleague play. And Cole, you would imagine, if Jeff Bannister goes by his National League upbringing, would be asked to lay down a sacrifice.
You would think Cole would be a little bit better than his American League counterparts when it comes to a sacrifice bunt.
Yeah. Asked to do it an awful lot. He's around to bunt and pops it up. Wacha takes care of that. Not so much for that. Cole popping it up. 2 gone.
Got the high fastball. Just got a little too much of it. If he bunted a little bit harder, he might have gotten it right over Wacha's head for a little drop shot for a base hit.
Well, it goes back to the top of the order for the Rangers now. Shin-Soo Choo. Chu hit a sinking line drive into right center field. And Grichuk came on and made a nice diving catch-up to start the ball game off. This time hitting with 2 outs and Elvis at first. Our TXU Energy Power Player to watch. The man right there in the middle of your screen, Shin-Soo Choo. 4 games since coming off the disabled list this latest time. 3 for 11 with 5 walks and 3 runs. .533 on base percentage. And, if you were wondering why Shin-Soo Choo would hit at the top of the order, that's why. Get on base better than 50% of the time. You can bet that you're probably going to be up there. Unless you're Barry Bonds. You could potentially walk 120 times a year. Hard hit on 1 hop right to Carpenter. The Cardinals second baseman throws out Chu. That'll do it. Rangers get a leadoff walk, but Strand Andrews. We play 2.5 in St. Louis. Rangers nothing, Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Now, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night is coming up on Wednesday, June 22nd. Cincinnati Reds will be in town. Another interleague matchup with your Texas Rangers. Head on out to Globe Life Park and enjoy all the hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or you can call 972-RANGERS. Well, Cole Hamels out to the hill. He had a 5-pitch second inning. He will face the bottom third of the St. Louis order. Jed Jerko, a towering drive to right center field. You get Desmond circling underneath it, and 1 pitch and 1 away.
And the Cardinals going up there swinging.
I think they must be double parked.
The only guy that didn't was Matt Carpenter, who's pretty much known as an on-base percentage guy. He's walked 39 or 40 times already this year. Kind of the ultimate leadoff hitter. On-base percentage guy, average guy, and provide some extra base power to go with it.
Yeah, the Cardinals, as you mentioned, Tom, had faced Cole Hamels a number of times, so they knew what to expect. And they also, you have to be pretty well convinced that their approach has served them pretty well. They're 4th in the National League in hitting with a .267 average, but they're 1st in runs scored. They have outscored the Cubs and everybody else, 353 runs. Good breaking ball from Cole. Randall Grichuk down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Almost pulled that all the way through the batter's box to hit Grichuk.
Grichuk has been a good acquisition by the Cardinals. They got him along with Peter Borges for David Freese and Fernando Salas. See you later. And he knew he was walking before the call.
Yeah.
The Cardinals got 2 younger players, 2 outfielders. They gave up a veteran third baseman and a relief pitcher. Grichuk's been pretty good for the Cardinals, and Cole's been pretty good so far in this ball game, throwing a lot of strikes.
Yes, he has. That's his first strikeout. Cole Hamels, you remember the other day against Seattle, got his 2,000th career strikeout. He was one of only 7 to reach that mark in as few as 320 games. Now here's his opposite number, Michael Wacha. And Michael Wacha will never be confused with a guy that, well, never be confused with his teammate Adam Wainwright as a good hitting pitcher. Wacha 1 for 22 this year. That figures out to an 0.45. One pitch from Hamels. Pretty healthy cut though.
Yeah, a little bit late.
And we'll take a look at tonight's Coors Light cold hard fact for you. Hamels, the second player to record his 2,000th career strikeout as a member of the Rangers. And he's going to add 1 more to his total here as he gets Wacha a couple of strikeouts in the inning. We have finished 3 at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Rangers nothing, Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Baseball sponsored by T-Mobile. How about Jake Arrieta? You talk about video game numbers. How about in his last 26 starts, 22-1, a 109 ERA, and guys are hitting a robust 155 off it. That's ridiculous. 45 walks, 190 strikeouts. Tim Lincecum back at the major league level, expected to make his first start for the Angels. He hasn't started since June of last year. Tomorrow versus the A's. It'll be Tim Lincecum. We got a pretty good pitching matchup going here tonight. Michael Wacha and Cole Hamels. Just 1 base hit in the ball game. Hamels has not allowed a hit through the first 3, and Wacha has allowed 1. That was to Adrian Beltre. Ian Desmond leading things off here in the Ranger 4th inning. Desmond grounded out to short, back into first. That cutter of a fastball, and Ian now even in the count and a ball and a strike. Desmond a modest 3-game hitting streak. Nothing modest about a .538 average in those 3 games. 7 for 13. He, of course, was the one that hit the opposite field home run yesterday. Got the Rangers offense going. Daniel Mingden had shut down the Ranger offense through 6 innings. Desmond's leadoff home run in the 7th set up a couple of, or 1 more run that inning and a couple more the next inning. all that while Kobe Lewis was virtually perfect yesterday. The 2-2 pitch. Full count. I still felt like I got punched in the stomach after that game yesterday.
Yeah, it just looked like it was going to happen. The way he was pitching, it just looked like it was going to happen. After Rua made the nice play in left field. Well, perfect pitch, I guess.
Second strikeout as Desmond caught looking at a pitch down and away. Mark Rippinger, the home plate umpire, exchanging with Ian Desmond. Pretty close. No, one away as Desmond out on strikes. No Mazzara. 0 for 1 tonight. 0 for his last 22 times to the plate.
Watch how nicely Waka is pitching tonight. Back in May, from between the 13th and the 24th of May, he started 3 times, gave up 6 or more runs, 3 straight times, 20 runs in 3 starts. But whatever he was doing in May, he's not doing it anymore.
No, he's not.
Because he didn't give up 20 runs in 3 starts, throwing like he is right now. I'm going to keep talking like this because this is exactly what we were saying about Sonny Gray the other day.
Yep.
When he went 5 innings, was untouchable, and Daniel Mingden yesterday.
Right.
Similar, 6 innings, he was untouchable.
Little looper on the left side of the diamond, and Johnny Peralta, the third baseman, handled it. That is out number 2. Well, tomorrow we will not be with you, but the game will be on Fox Sports 1. Rangers and Cardinals tomorrow at 3 o'clock Central Time. Be on your Fox Sports 1 station, and that pitching matchup tomorrow. Carlos Martinez for the Cardinals and Nick Martinez for the Rangers. They're going to get that spot start tomorrow. 2 outs here in the 4th. Adrian Beltre has the only hit of the ballgame. Had a leadoff single back in the 2nd. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beltre with the average back up over the 280 mark, 281 as he stands in. 4 hits in the last game plus an at-bat, and he's going to add 1 more to that as he rifles one right back through the middle, a 2-out single.
Yeah, Adrian said the first couple of at-bats in his first game back, he was struggling a little bit, but he got it together after the first couple of at-bats, and I guess he did. He's got only a couple of hits for the Rangers in this game. That's a well-hit ball.
Yeah, 5 for 7 is pretty much
good.
Back together. Go back to before the injury. Now has a 5-game hitting streak going. No, he is aboard with 2 outs. Here's Prince Fielder, who bounced into a double play in the 2nd inning. Foul ball makes it 0-1. Prince now 2 for his last 18 times to the plate. He's seen his batting average drop from 204 down to its present mark of 197. Waka a check of first. Fielder takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yadier Molina flashed the signs out. Walker ready. Came back to the inside corner. And it's 1-2. Mark Rippinger, the home plate umpire, fairly sizable strike zone tonight. He's giving both corners, also the very bottom of the zone. Umpires will tell you they like to go out and hunt strikes to call. Got him swinging. 3 strikeouts in the game, 2 in the inning for Waka. No runs a hit, 1 man left after 3.5. No score, Rangers and Cardinals. Ryan Rua, Ranger outfielder and also Rangers captain. He'll be at the Whataburger on Northwest Highway in Dallas. Don't miss this chance to meet Ryan and win some great prizes. Visit TexasRangers.com/appearances for more information on the Whataburger. Scoreless ball game as Cole Hamels heads back out to the mound. He will face the top of the order for the Cardinals. Matt Carpenter takes strike one. Carpenter, the only base runner thus far for the Cardinals, walked leading off the game. He was immediately erased on a double play grounder. Hamels to the wind. Odor can't get it. It's by him for a leadoff single. The Rangers shading Carpenter around to the right, and Rudett not quite able to make up that ground.
Fastball inside part of the plate. And just a solid ground ball that found a hole.
No one on, nobody out. Aledmus Diaz is the shortstop for the Cardinals, also the number 2 hitter. Diaz grounded into the double play, back in the first. That foul ball makes it 0-1.
Cole's only thrown 30 pitches. He's only thrown 8 balls. 4 of them were to the leadoff hitter, Matt Carpenter. Since that walk, he's only thrown 4 balls.
Little calling card for Carpenter at first base. Cole Hamels, the 32-year-old from San Diego. Nothing and 2.
Hasn't really broken out his changeup yet. That was a changeup though that had Diaz out in front of it. He's had a good curveball, good cutter, and a good fastball so far.
See, Diaz doesn't seem to bother him. He gets 2 strikes. One of the better averages, 277 with 2 strikes. Exactly where Cole has him right now. 0-2. Pulled weakly. Elvis to second, and Odor doing his best stretch like a first baseman against the force on Carpenter.
Said if Jurickson Profar can go into that stretch, I could do the same thing. 2 middle infielders. And that's the way to do it. You want to make sure you get the one out. You know you're not going to get a double play. Get that ball as quickly as you can and get that force out.
And make sure you stretch yourself out well before you try that.
That just hurts watching.
Yeah, it sure does. No, that is out number 1. Now Diaz at first. Matt Holliday will step in. The number 3 hitter, Holliday, rounded to short back in the first inning. Nothing in 1 on the foul ball. Holliday came in hitting at 258. He's dropped down a point. Almost half of his hits this year have gone for extra bases. Something Matt Holliday has done throughout his career is pound the ball all over the yard. 0-2 as Hamels elevated that time. Cole Hamels with the Rangers since last July 31st. Boy, a big turning point for the Rangers. They had started their hot streak maybe 2 days before Cole got there, but he really made sure that fire didn't go out. Out of play, we'll try the 0-2 pitch again. Holliday, 4 out of 17 now in the matchups with Cole Hamels. Diaz a small lead at first. Got him swinging. Breaking ball, and That is strikeout number 3 for Cole.
Cole's featuring some pretty nice stuff tonight. His last start was a win at Seattle. He pitched very well in that game. 7 innings, 4 hits, only gave up 1 run and a couple of walks. But it looks like his curveball is a little bit tighter today. It's not quite as big of a curveball, a little bit sharper. And it's going along with his cutter that he's throwing at about 89 miles an hour, giving him a couple of different looks with the off-speed breaking pitches. Combine that with good velocity, 93, 94 with his fastball, good command, and really still got his changeup sitting kind of there waiting to use it when he needs it.
Stephen Piscotty, the number 4 hitter, is in. He had a shortstop, grounded out a shortstop his first time. Talking about Cole, we'll give you our Kubota power stats for the Ranger left-hander. Last 10 road starts, he has gone 7-0 with a 2.39 ERA, and opposing hitters have batted 227 against him. 6 or more innings in all 10 starts. 1 ball and 1 strike.
There's the changeup, just to make sure that they know he's got that.
For Hamels, 3 of his last 4 starts now have come on the road. Pitched 7 innings in Cleveland and a no decision. He had, of course, the game in Seattle last time out, got the win there.
There's that cutter at 90 miles an hour. I think based on this being his 14th start, this might be the best cutter that he's had all season long.
Bobby Wilson with the signs. Hamels with a pitch. Diaz on the move. The pitch inside, no throw. Diaz got a huge jump. And Bobby Wilson coming up, and he found himself kind of leaning in to Stephen Piscotty as he was getting ready to throw the ball and couldn't throw it. Well, the stolen base as Diaz at second. Not much Bobby Wilson could do about that. Now, Hamels has to deal with the leading hitter with runners in scoring position in the major leagues. Stephen Piscotty hitting better than .500 this year in these situations. 2-2.
Oh, there's a cutter. Knocked the bat right out of his hand.
Almost did. Cardinals, the best hitting team with runners in scoring position. They're hitting .313. And Piscotty, the best among the best. They're the team batting averages. .295 for the Red Sox, a distant second to the Cardinals, .313. Hamels again ready. Check swing.
Could have been.
Ball 3.
It wasn't high. It wasn't inside. It was right there. He asked if it was high. Nope. Was it inside? Nope. Was it a strike? Nope.
You got stuck.
Was it a ball? Nope.
So a full count to Piscotty. He missed high. That's ball 4. Second walk of the night for Hamels. First and second with 2 away for Johnny Peralta. Bobby Wilson going to go out and talk to Cole Hamels in just a moment, get their signals straight on what they want to do. Folks, we remind you to join the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation at Medical Center Arlington on Sunday, September the 4th. It's the 5th annual Rangers Labor Day Race. You can enjoy a scenic 5K course that finishes on the field, or bring the whole family for a very fun 1K run. Visit TexasRangers.com/race to sign up today. Here's Peralta, who blistered a ball right down to Adrian Beltre, his first time up.
That's the one that he seems to be calling. Mark Ripperger, the home plate umpire, that's the same pitch he called on Ian Desmond for strike 3 down in the lower part of the strike zone. The ones at the upper part of the strike zone, those go the hitter's way, but down low, you want to try that corner, that seems to be going the pitcher's way.
softly into right field. Chu started back, but able to make up the ground that he relinquished, and that'll do it. Cardinals get a hit, a walk, they strand 2. We have finished 4 at Busch Stadium. It's the Rangers nothing and the Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. On Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Mazda. In every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. The Gateway Arch, right on the banks of the Mississippi here in St. Louis. Tallest man-made monument in the United States. Rougned Odor to start things off here in the 5th inning. Odor, Andrus, and Wilson. A drive to center field. That ball is crushed. Going back is Grichuk. Goodbye.
Wow.
Rougned Odor just launched a bomb, and the Rangers lead it 1-0.
Well, he launched a bomb off Sean Doolittle the other day on a high fastball to right center. This is straight away center, 2/3 of the way up the grass behind the 400-foot sign. Roogie goes deep for the 13th time, and that was gone the second it hit the bat. Well, yesterday it was 6 innings from Daniel Mingen before Ian Desmond hit the home run to get the Rangers on the board. Day before that it was 5 from Sonny Gray. Today it was 4 excellent innings from Michael Wacha. The Rangers didn't have a man reach second base in the first 4 innings. But to start the 5th, they're on the board with this right down the middle of the plate. And there it goes.
And those of you that are sensitive to loud noises, when we play the noise back on this, cover your ears.
That's a beautiful, compact, powerful swing. Roogie said in the paper today, I'm not a home run hitter, I'm a contact hitter. Well, that's pretty good contact he made right here.
Yeah. Well, the tail of the tape as far as the Cardinals are concerned, 433 feet. There's a bounder up the middle. Carpenter behind second. Throws out Elvis, one gone. But I think if we get the tail of the tape from StatCast, we'll have a little bit more added onto that.
Yeah, that had to go 40 to 50 feet over the fence, I would think.
In any event, that's the 19th Ranger home run on this road trip. That landed 3/4 of the way up the hill there in dead center field. Goodness. So now Michael Wacha will face Bobby Wilson. Bobby lined to left field his first time up there. There's that curveball that Wilson able to check his swing on. A ball and a strike. A couple more notes about Rougned Odor. That's his 3rd home run now in the last 3 games. Slowly tapped out to short. Diaz charging. Makes a good throw for out number 2. Well, Bobby Wilson grounds out. Cole Hamels will be next. Now, Rougned Odor, you remember, had a 2-home run game on Wednesday. He and Robinson Chirinos with multi-home run games in that tilt. Rougned now with 13 home runs. That's tops on the club. And if you go back to last year when Odor came back, I'll tell you about it next time Rougned comes up, as Hamels hits a towering pop-up to Johnny Peralta. And that'll do it. And Rougned Odor gets the Rangers on the board. A monster home run leading off the 5th inning. We've played half the ball game. Rougned Odor and the Rangers leading the Cardinals 1-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. I want to remind you, voting is open for the 2016 MLB All-Star Game. The Rangers need your help to make sure that Texas is well represented. You can send Ian and Adrian and Elvis and Rougned and the rest of the Rangers to San Diego with your vote. Just go to TexasRangers.com/vote. Cast your vote up to 35 times. Fans who select the Rangers as their favorite team will receive an offer for 50% off tickets to select games in August. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote early, vote often. Vote up to 35 times for your Rangers. Well, Cole Hamels now with a 1-0 advantage to protect. As he heads to the mound, he'll face Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, and Rangel Grichuk. First pitch is in to Molina. Flied out to center field back in the 2nd inning. He was the last out of that inning that required only 5 pitches from Cole Hamels. 1-1. One of the reasons why Cole, a very modest pitch total here. 47 as he works in the 5th inning. Looping fly ball to left. Nomar Mazara handles that. 1 gone.
That's that cutter again. Cut it right in on the fist. Molina had a good swing, good trajectory on that ball, but it hit him off the handle and didn't go anywhere. A little movement, that 4 or 5 inches that the ball cuts in right there on the fist, kept it from being solid contact. So it keeps featuring that pitch with some pretty good success so far.
Well, if you wanted to know a definition of a cutter, what it looks like, that replay showed you exactly what it looked like. And you can imagine being a hitter and having that ball look like it's going to start on the inner half of the plate somewhere, and all of a sudden it's right down by your first knuckle.
Yeah, and that pitch really There's a nice curveball. It's not designed to be a swing and a miss pitch.
Right.
It's designed to get an easy out by jamming a right-hand hitter.
Yep.
And
Exactly
that's
right.
just what he did right there.
Jed Jerko takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jerko a fly ball to center field as he led off the third. Cole back to the plate. You haven't seen a lot of good swings from many of the Cardinals tonight. Cole's had that, along with the cutter and the little change of speeds, the subtle change of speeds on the breaking ball and the straight changeup from time to time. He's had guys kind of in between with some swings. Bust that fastball up and in, and that evens the count at 2-2.
It just looked like he's got a little tick more on his fastball. It looks like curveball's a little bit sharper. Cutter's definitely better. There's another one right off the fists.
Up the middle. Rudek can't get it. It's into center field.
There's nothing to do about that.
No.
That hit Jerko worse than the one hit that hit Molina. But he just hit it where no one was playing.
Just the second Cardinal hit of the night. Jerko aboard with 1 out. Randall Grichuk coming up. Before he does, we're going to send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break. All right, Dana, thank you. Here, the Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Jed Jerko aboard with a 1-out single here in the 5th. Randall Grichuk called out on strikes his first time. Takes that good curveball for strike 1. Grichuk, pretty good power hitting down in the order. That 208 average, but 8 home runs. 27 driven in. Lazy pop-up into shallow right. Chu camps underneath it. 2 gone.
Nice changeup. Grichuk had a nice swing at it, but his timing was off because he was out in front of it. Hit it right off the end of the bat. A lot of strikes. 55 pitches, 40 strikes, and 15 balls. And that's all his pitches, too. Throwing his fastball, his curveball, changeup, cutter, throwing them all for strikes right now. Quality strikes.
Well, here's Michael Wacha, the pitcher. Wacha struck out his first time. 0-1.
Wacha, he needs to just start his swing a little bit sooner. Had a decent swing. It's just he's going to have a hard time making contact when the ball's in the catcher's mitt while he's going through the strike zone with his bat.
Kind of looks like, and I can relate to this, looks like you're swinging as if somebody's throwing about 70 miles an hour to you. Unfortunately, it's 90 miles an hour. I can relate to that.
Yeah. Or like it would feel to swing a bat if you were like completely underwater.
Yeah. 1-2. Now Cole Hamels tonight with 3 strikeouts, giving up just 2 base hits. As Jed Jerko over at first, 2 gone in the 5th inning. 2-2. Now the left-hander ready once again. Got him swinging. 4th strikeout of the night for Hamels. The single by Jerko, no advantage for the St. Louis Cardinals. After 5, Rangers 1, Cardinals 0. Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $200 and dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run this inning, Mary Lambert from Bradford, Texas will win $200. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Mary is going to win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Mary's sitting out there in Palo Pinto County watching her Rangers, getting ready to win some money from the Sonic folks. Mary, you've got some of the right people coming up. At the top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo and Ian Desmond and Nomar Mazara and all the big boys. Rangers leading 1-0. They about hit the Cardinals 3-2 tonight. Beautiful evening in St. Louis. About half a mile from the Mississippi River. A lot of renovation downtown the last 15 or 20 years here in St. Louis. Chu walking to the plate. Shin-Soo 0 for 2 tonight. He is lined to center and grounded to second. Big slow hook, and that is in for strike one. Shin-Soo now with the average at .212 for the year. He has reached in every ball game that he's played in this year. Granted, that's only been 9, but still, he has gotten on base when he's had the opportunity. One ball, 2 strikes. Rangers coming into play tonight have hit 287 in the last 24 ball games. That includes 40 home runs. They've added one more tonight. And the note I was going to tell you about Rougned Odor, and it's still significant, since the All-Star break of last year, Rougned Odor has been the top home run hitter on the Rangers. Includes everybody. He's had 25 home runs. Chu is down on strikes to start off the 6th. 4th strikeout for Walker.
Nice changeup from Walker. Just like his fastball, only it comes in about 8 miles an hour slower.
Here's Ian Desmond, who has struck out and grounded out. Just to finish up with Odor, 25 home runs since last All-Star break, and that's now 4 more than Adrian Beltre, who's second on the team. Our Ford leaderboard showing you the hit leaders in Major League Baseball. Xander Bogaerts with the Red Sox the most. Ian Desmond coming up that list pretty quickly. Ian got kind of a late start, but he's up to 83 now. That is 3rd in the American League, 4th in the major leagues. A 1-1 pitch to him. Desmond, one of the 2 Rangers that had had experience against Waka prior to tonight. Shot foul. Ian, though, it hasn't been a pleasant experience. Just 1 for 9 coming in, so now he's 1 for 11. Only other player, Shin-Soo Choo, had 3 at-bats previously with no luck. Two balls, 2 strikes. Waka peering in for the sign, the big right-hander. He couldn't quite get together with Yadier Molina. Waka, along with being a 2-time All-State baseball selection at Pleasant Grove High School, was an All-State basketball player too. And he gets the strike out of Desmond as that pitch working its way in. Got Ian swinging.
Another changeup. Been a good pitch for him so far tonight. Rangers haven't had a man to second, unless you want to count Ruby. He didn't stay there long. He just touched it on his way around the bases. Good location with this, good movement, change of speed. It's got everything. Tough to hit.
But 2 strikeouts, 2 gone here in the 6th. There's Nomar Mazara. Mazara has popped to 3rd and grounded to 3rd. Little looper over Peralta's head. That's going to fall for a base hit. And that over has come to an end. 0 for 23 is no longer valid, as Nomar Mazara gets the looping single with 2 outs.
Got it on his fist, but he fought it off. Like the ball Jerko hit the center field.
Yeah. Well, the 4th hit of the night for the Rangers. Mazara had first 2 away, and here's a man who has half the 4 hits. Adrian Beltre singled in both his at-bats so far. Chopper to the right side again. This one cut down by Carpenter. Off-balance throw, and he gets Beltre. Adrian bidding for another hit that way, but Carpenter made a nice play. No runs a hit. 1 man left after 5.5. 1-0 Texas on Fox Sports Southwest. Set. And June 21st is the first ball game. That's when 15,000 fans at Globe Life Park will receive a Rangers yearbook. The yearbook includes player profiles and pictures also of your favorite Rangers youth baseball career. Get your tickets for June 21st. Just log on to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. A lot of Ranger fans settling into their seats. They have seen a whale of a pitching duel here as Cole Hamels begins the 6th inning facing the top of the order, Matt Carpenter. Carpenter has been aboard both times tonight. He's walked and singled. He has one of the 2 St. Louis hits against Hamels. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cole Hamels at Busch Stadium has been remarkably good his few times here in ball 2. Working in his 13th inning. He's had 9 strikeouts, 6 hits, and just 1 run allowed to the Cardinals. 2-1 to Carpenter. Now 3-1.
Carpenter last year had 44 doubles and 28 home runs. He's 3rd in the National League in extra base hits this year. He's had 20 doubles already, 4 triples. He's hit 10 home runs. His on-base percentage is over 40% now.
And ball 4. He has drawn another walk. Well, as Diaz makes his way to the plate, you folks that are following the United States Open, the 116th Open at Oakmont Country Club in Pennsylvania, Andrew Landry And Dustin Johnson tied for the lead right now. It's been a scattergun approach because of the rain. Andrew Landry didn't play today. He will tee off tomorrow. It'll still be his second round. And Dustin Johnson, of course, playing today in his second round. It has been really a mess. Just at Oakland. They have 4 rain delays, I think, the first day, and trying to get things back on track. It's been difficult.
Amazing round today for Daniel Summer. He shot a 65. That's pretty good shooting on that course.
And we'll remind you, tomorrow the coverage for the 116th Open continues. The conclusion of the second round begins at 6:30 a.m. on Fox Sports 1, and third round coverage begins right after that, only on Fox. You can watch it all live on Fox Sports Go if you prefer.
Kind of the first jam, so to speak, for Cole's band. He did have a couple of men on base back in the 4th inning, but leadoff walk. Carpenter's led off 3 times because Walker's made the last out twice. And he's been on base as the leadoff hitter 3 times in this game.
Good changeup.
Threw him one on the second pitch, too. Threw that one for a strike, though. Diaz was 100% sure that this is a fastball. Just trying to make it 2-1.
It is 2-1, 2-1.
It is. He was thinking scoreboard, though.
Hamels a check of first. To right field. Chu has this one measured. One gone. Carpenter a bluff move to second. Chu a strong throw to the bag.
That's another successful cut fastball. Diaz let it get in on him a little bit. The changeup kind of set that pitch up. The 2-1 pitch, he was way out in front of him. Then he jammed him a little bit, just enough with a cut fastball, and results a 300-foot fly ball to right field for the first out.
Bill Carpenter remaining at first. Here's Matt Holliday now, the number 3 hitter. Holliday has grounded out and struck out this evening. Rangers on the infield shade Holliday a couple of steps around to the left. Adrian Beltre at third, playing very, very deep. There's that cut fastball again, Tom, that you were talking about, just running it right in on Holliday's fist.
There's been, a lot of times where it's worked well for Cole. There's been some games where he hasn't commanded it maybe like he expects to. Today's not one of them, though. He's commanded it pretty much the way he's wanted to all game long.
Bobby Wilson flashing the signs out. Hamels picks one out. There goes Carpenter. Huge jump. And the pitch fouled down by Holliday. And Rangers very fortunate that Holliday swung at that ball. Carpenter had second stolen standing up. He might have stolen third of the same pitch. That's how big a jump he had. But Matt Carpenter really pounding his foot or leg with that foul ball.
Carpenter has no stolen base attempts this year. He's 0 for 0.
Right on the inside of that left foot.
St. Louis is a team that really doesn't run all that much. 16 for 27 stealing bases. Rangers 43 for 54.
Mike Matheny and the Cardinal trainers out there to see if they can offer at least some moral support for Matt Holliday. No balls and 2 strikes. Cole Hamels preparing to throw his 72nd pitch of the night. Call, strike 3. Got the call on the inside corner. Mark Rippinger making the call, and that's adding injury to insult. 5th strikeout for Cole Hamels.
Yeah, a little margin for error. Ball just slightly off the corner, but maybe an inch.
So Carpenter's still at first. 2 gone now. Stephen Piscotty, the cleanup hitter. 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Piscotty a .302 average for the year. 35 RBI. Changeup just off the outer edge. 1 ball and no strikes. Piscotty been a .313 hitter over the last a little bit better than a month. 31 ball games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slow breaking ball coming in. This season, Stephen Piscotty against left-handers, .411 average. Against right-handers, .270, which is still pretty respectable. But at .411, the highest average qualifying hitters against left-handed pitching. Beltre charges, gets the big hop. That'll do it. So the leadoff walk. Matt Carpenter left stranded. We're going on to inning number 7 in St. Louis. The Rangers won, the Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Time for our 4th game summary tonight. Rougned Odor, the big blast to center field. That has been the only scoring so far. Odor with his 13th home run of the year off Michael Wacha. Meanwhile, Cole Hamels, 6 innings of shutout baseball, just 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 75 pitches, 51 strikes, as he has been dominant again here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Rangers come to bat here in the 7th inning. It'll be Prince fielder Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus to face Michael Wacha. Sharply hit ball by Prince, but pulled it foul for strike 1. Fielder has struck out and grounded into a double play tonight. Prince now with that average down to 195. Going the other way, he has a base hit. Prince taking advantage of that overshift.
Yeah, that was a rope, too. Prince centered that one. Line shot. Didn't get 8 feet off the ground, it didn't look like. That was a lenient.
Well, the Rangers now 5 base hits. 1 on, nobody out. Rougned Odor. Rougned launched his 13th home run about 3/4 of the way up the hill in center field his last time up there. 1 ball, no strikes. Our AT&T high-speed internet replay will take you back to the 5th inning, and Rougned Odor says liftoff. It did. Blasted that thing into orbit. Prince Fielder over there at first base, talking to Kerwin Danley. He said, hey, he's not holding me on, so he can't throw when he's not at the bag, right? No, Kerwin said he's close enough. It's okay. Odor chops that foul behind the plate. The count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Rugnet now 13 home runs, 34 RBI.
He got away with that changeup right down the middle of the plate. Maybe swung over it just a little bit, but he had it timed pretty well.
Walker picks out a sign. Misses just off the plate inside. 2-1. A pretty good idea what the book on Rugnet is. Now, teams you don't play very much, they have to go on what the general consensus is, and that would be to jam Rugnet Odor. Trying to keep the fastball out of the middle of the plate, preferably. Like right out there. A little outside, but get ahead of him with fastballs in if you can. Maybe getting to chase something in the dirt. Prince Fielder now not having Jed Jerko in front of him. Jerko playing behind him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll try it again.
He's coming closer to that changeup. Struck out on the changeup swinging in the 2nd inning. Hit the fastball for a home run. He's had a couple of changeups in this at bat that he's fouled off, but timed them pretty well.
Walker with another 2-2 pitch. That ball's ripped to right field, but right at Piscotty.
Well, that was another changeup, and he's lucky he didn't hit that one out of the ballpark. He kept throwing him changeups. Rookie was right on it, fouling him off, and that was another changeup, and he roped it, but unfortunately it was right at Piscotty.
And you let a hitter get a good look at 3 or 4 changeups in the same night. A good hitter's going to be able to time that eventually.
It's not like he was fooled on the ones he was fouling off.
Right.
He just didn't center him, but he wasn't fooled by him.
Now here's Elvis, who has walked and grounded out. 0 for 1 tonight. Average at 282. Deep in the hole. Diaz, Carpenter. They won't get Elvis. Force out, removes Fielder. There are now 2 outs with Elvis at first and Bobby Wilson coming out. Diaz showing pretty good range. Bobby Wilson is lined to left, grounded to short. 0 for 2 tonight. 267 season average. That number with the Rangers. 253 overall. Yadier Molina flashing the signs out. 1 ball and no strikes. Molina looking into the Cardinal dugout, getting some instruction from Mike Matheny, the skipper. Matheny, of course, a longtime Major League catcher, 13-year career at the helm of the Cardinals now. Hot foul. That will be over the Cardinal dugout and back out of play. A ball and a strike. The National League makes a difference now. You have the pitcher hitting ninth right behind Bobby Wilson. Probably wouldn't have Elvis try to steal second. Yet, even if he makes it, you'd probably go ahead and walk Bobby Wilson in that event and work the pitcher. If he doesn't make it, you got Wilson leading off the next inning. Going on this pitch and is fouled away. Elvis had a walking lead that time, and he's going to try to retrace his steps. Milwaukee 85 pitches into the ball game tonight. Bobby Wilson hanging tough. Bobby catching back-to-back games, and Jeff Bannister asked about that today, and he said, well, it really comes down to you need to work Robinson Chirinos slowly into catching back-to-back games. Well, Bobby Wilson caught looking at strike 3, and that'll do it. Rangers get a hit, but Strander runner will take the stretch here in St. Louis. The Rangers won, the Cardinals nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you by Progressive. Rangers this weekend series tonight, tomorrow afternoon, and Sunday afternoon against the Cardinals. It's back home, that makeup game on Monday. The Reds in for 2 games, Tuesday and Wednesday, an off day on Thursday. And then the Boston Red Sox invade Globe Life Park Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before the Rangers hit the road once again. Well, here in St. Louis, a rather warm, a comfortably warm night. Temperature in the middle 80s still, very light breeze. Great crowd on hand here at Busch Stadium. Rangers leading 1-0 on the strength of Rougned Odor's solo home run. Johnny Peralta starting off the 7th inning. It'll be Peralta, Molina, and Jerko to face Cole Hamels. 1 ball and no strikes. Peralta tonight is lined to third and flied to right field. Right down the third baseline, a fair ball. Adrian, long throw, got him.
Yeah, so calm. Fields that ball out in left field practically, and just takes his time like he's playing catch. Throws it over first base for the out. And you see how that looks routine when Adrian does it. Watch how easy he makes this look. He catches it and throws it. And then you can see Jurickson playing over there for the first time. And I don't mean it that negatively against Jurickson, but when you see Adrian do that, it just shows that it's not as easy as it looks when you put a talented middle infielder like Jurickson over there and see the problem he's got being accurate from way over there. It's just not that easy. But Adrian's been doing it for a while. Jurickson's getting his first taste of playing third base. It just shows you that you just can't take anyone, put them over there, and expect them to make accurate throws like Adrian does all the time.
Yeah, and when you think about where Adrian fielded that ball, that's about a 140 or 45-foot throw across the diamond. It's not like throwing the ball to second base from there. 2-0 the count to Molina. And he takes high. It's 3 balls and no strikes. So Molina, who has fly to center and fly to left, way out in front of the count. 3-1 now. Well, Cole Hamels, 81 pitches this evening, 53 strikes, 28 balls. 3-1 pitch. Elvis, the rim of the outfield grass. 2 gone. Next will be Jed Jerko, but first we're going to send it back to Dana Larson for a Chevy game break.
Wow. 8 RBIs.
That's a pretty good night.
Man. Last guy to hit 4 home runs in a game, Josh Hamilton, did it in the same ballpark. Michael Saunders is having a great year, and the Blue Jays, by the way, are hot. Watch out for the Blue Jays if you're in the American League East. They're not fun to be pitching to right now.
Be a game back. Baltimore and Boston.
Yep. They'll be bunched together, all 3 teams within a game of each other.
Jed Jerko, the hitter, and he's down on the count 0-2 as Hamels comes back to him. We'll try it again on no balls and 2 strikes. Jerko tonight has singled and fly to center. That single was a little looper to center field that Hamels broke his back, but Jerko strong enough to muscle it out over the infield. Cole back to him. And another foul ball. This one off to the right. Bobby Wilson flashes the signs, and Cole back to the plate. Got him swinging.
There's that cutter again. That's a beauty tonight.
And that is strikeout number 6 for Hamels. He has a 1-2-3-7. We are going to the 8th inning with the Rangers leading the Cardinals 1-0 on Fox Sports Southwest.
St. Louis, Missouri, as the Rangers rekindle a bit of a rivalry here with the St. Louis Cardinals, and the rivalry continues tomorrow. We won't be here with you for tomorrow night's game. It'll be on Fox Sports 1. Our old buddy Aaron Goldsmith, who used to do Rough Riders games back in the day, will be on the call with C.J. Nitkowski, a former Rangers pitcher, Ian Desmond against Matt Carpenter in a head-to-head hitters battle, and we've got it for you on FS1 tomorrow. AT&T High-Speed U-verse reminds you that the game is tomorrow on Fox Sports 1 at 3 o'clock. Guys?
All right, John, thank you. Now Cole Hamels leading off the 8th inning for the Rangers. A sign of respect, Michael Wacha deals a breaking ball inside for ball 1.
Cole hasn't done that to him. Cole's throwing them all fastballs, but the last time up on the first pitch, Cole skied a pop-up to the infield on the fastball. Wacha remembered that.
He did.
Wasn't going to let him ambush him that time.
And Hamels is a 170 lifetime hitter. It's not like he can't swing.
No, he's not an automatic out.
2 balls and a strike to Cole. Along with the pop out, he is bunted out. Popped a bunt up, back to the pitcher. Outside corner. 2-2 now. And strike 3. Hamels not really interested in pulling the trigger.
I don't think he's very interested in running the bases right now with in a 1-run game in the 8th inning.
7th strikeout for Michael Wacha.
Go back, get rested up, go back out there for the bottom of the 8th.
Have Shin-Soo Choo take a couple of pitches here and then make sure you get plenty of downtime on that bench. Choo tonight 0 for 3. He has lined to center, grounded to second, and struck out swinging. Rangers a run on 5 hits tonight. Cardinals no runs on just 2 hits. To left field, carrying pretty well, but Holiday, shy of the warning track, makes the catch. That is out number 2.
Boy, this is an old-fashioned pitching duel right here. They're mowing them down one right after the other. One swing of the bat's the difference. But both pitchers on top of their game in this one, throwing a lot of quality strikes.
And hitters have to feel, looking at them, Tom, that these guys have good enough control and enough of an assortment of pitches. You don't want to get behind them.
No, and you say, well, they're not walking anybody. Go up there and swing, and each pitcher's got a good assortment of stuff. But Wacha now has thrown 94 pitches, and way over 65% of them have been strikes. 20 out of 28 first pitch strikes.
Desmond chops it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike.
95 pitches, 67 strikes, only 28 balls. It's kind of the same percentage that Cole's at.
Yep.
So you like pitchers duels. You're watching 2 good pitchers right in the middle of one right now.
Desmond not able to catch up with that high octane 95 up about shoulder high. Ian tonight has struck out twice and grounded out.
3 of the Rangers' 5 hits, including the home run, have come on the first pitch.
Cole Hamels giving Shin-Soo Choo some batting lessons. So look, here's how I do it. Choo was having none of that. He'll smile and say, go away. Has been chopping it foul. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Michael Wacha at 6'6", 24-year-old. Lives out in the Texarkana area. On his game here tonight. Another 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Matter of fact, both these guys are on their games. This is a pitcher's duel in every sense of the word. Get a look at Wacha, and Wacha has not had an inning over 14 tonight. A full count. Desmond waiting. Wacha back to him. We'll try it again. A little over 44,000 on hand here tonight in St. Louis. 44,064 at Busch Stadium. Ball 4. Desmond draws the walk. Close. Walker didn't get the call that time. Second walk issued by Walker tonight. It'll bring up Nomar Mazara. Well, one of the few at bats tonight that has been drawn out. 9-pitch at bat, won that time by Ian Desmond. Desmond aboard, very definitely a threat to go with Mazara up there and 2 outs. Nomar snapped an 0 for 23 with a base hit to left field his last time up. One thing you have to factor in too is Yadier Molina behind the plate, recognized as probably the best defensive catcher in the game right now. Has been for a number of years. He really shuts down opposing running games as well as anybody. Off the end of the bat by Walker, off the mound. It's going to be a base hit, and Desmond's going to go on to third. Ian Desmond, apprised of the situation immediately, knew nobody was going to get back to the bag, and he just kept on going. First to third on an infield roller. How about that?
How about those 2 hits from Nomar? Got a little blooper over the third baseman's head and a little ground ball past the pitcher. Said, I'll take him, man. I was 0 for 21, 0 for 23. Oh, it's got a lot of spin on it. Long way for Peralta to go.
So with a walk and a little squibber single, that's going to do it for Michael Wacha as Mike Matheny out there to take the ball from him. And he will not have an opportunity to get a win here tonight. As a matter of fact, the Rangers leading 1-0. He leaves with baggage on base, his responsibility. Pitching change underway. We're back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. #1 live streaming sports service delivers everything you've come to expect and a lot more. You can watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. And includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Just visit MLB.tv for details. 33-year-old Seung-Won Oh, native of South Korea, has come on now. He joined the Cardinals this year after pitching the last couple of years in the Japanese Central League. And prior to that, pitching in Korea. One of the premier closers in either of those 2 leagues. 34th appearance of the year for O. He's like Adrian Beltre, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
One of those guys whose stuff over there translates over here. He's been untouchable, a 148 opponent's batting average. 47 strikeouts in 34 innings.
Beltre up there with Desmond at third, Mazara at first. Out of play to the right. And Adrian now down on the count of 1-2. Beltre 2 for 3 tonight, a pair of singles. Adrian with runners in scoring position this year, the 3rd highest average in Major League Baseball at 388. Desmond is over a third. He is definitely in scoring position. Oh, with a 1-2. Nice stop by Molina. If you're waiting to get a wild pitch pass out of your Molina, you might wait a while.
You better bounce it out in front of the plate and have it bounce over his head, one that he can't touch.
His upper body leaned over, so if the ball bounces straight up, it drops right in front of him. Technically, it's about as good as I think as you're going to see, probably. 2-2 to Beltre. Broken bat roller, just foul.
That pitch had to be a foot outside. It just kept breaking.
Speaking of breaking,
the bat kept breaking too.
Yes.
It's all right. It was a tough pitch. Get a chance to get a better one to hit right here.
Yeah, at least a foot.
I don't know how he even reached that ball. Most guys wouldn't.
And made decent contact. Yes.
Yeah.
No, Adrian with some new lumber up there now, and he's back in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on. Rangers trying to add to their 1-0 lead.
Oh.
Skied to center field. Not very deep. Carpenter going out. Back penalty is Diaz. And Matt Carpenter makes the call on the catch. That will do it. So comes on. Gets the pop out. The Rangers get a hit to walk and Strand 2. After 7.5, it's the Rangers 1, the Cardinals 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. Jimmy John's delivery of the game, and there have been several from the man on your screen, Cole Hamels. He has been on fire here tonight. He has allowed a grand total of 2 hits, a couple of walks. He has struck out 6. He has had it working tonight against the Cardinals. Jimmy John's will be proud of those deliveries. Get there on time and in a hurry. No, Cole to work here in the 8th inning. The first pitch to Pitching is popped up. Beltre. We haven't seen them have a chance to play that game lately. But it's nice to see him back in mid-season form with a pop-up.
Like Matt Adams is going to pinch hit against the lefty. Buzz, we were just talking about him between innings. And the damage he's done as a pinch hitter. He's hit 2 pinch hit home runs. He's 8 for 14 as a pinch hitter. So he's going to pinch hit against the lefty, but he didn't start against the lefty.
Very rare do you see managers confident enough in their hitters to have a left-hander come up against Cole Hamilton, and that tells you all you need to know about Matt Adams.
Yeah, it's a one-run game, and they're just looking for one swing of the bat, just like the one Rookie had.
First pitch is off the plate inside for ball one. Matt Adams, the numbers Tom was talking about, 2 home runs. He's gone 8 for 14. One ball and one strike. That's where I really think American League clubs are at a disadvantage playing in National League parks, more so than teams using the DH. Beltre takes care of that squibber. 2 gone, and that is a major league saw-off job right there.
Yeah, Adams surprisingly not playing against a lefty. He's a .367 hitter against left-hand pitching this year. He's 0 for 1 in this game, though. That felt like an 0 for 5. Ran that fastball way in there. Adrian had to lay back on this ball because he knows it's got a lot of spin on it. He has to lay back and make sure he doesn't have that ball spin right out of his glove.
Good gracious. Well, 2 very big outs. Now here's Matt Carpenter, the leadoff man. He takes ball 1.
One guy that's given Cole a problem tonight has been Matt Carpenter. He has 1 of the 2 hits and 2 walks.
Been on base all 3 times tonight. Hard to get him to expand his zone at all.
Well, there's that cutter.
Yeah.
That's been a beautiful pitch tonight.
Matt Bush, Jake Diekman loosening in that Ranger bullpen. 1-1. Hamels to the plate. Popped up. Beltre ranging near the dugout. Reaches and can't quite reach far enough.
Sliced back toward the dugout. That was going to be all that you could handle.
What breeze there is blowing in from center field tonight. It's out of the northeast, and I think there's just enough breeze helping that to push it out of play.
That's one where he's trying to manage the pain, but boy, it's one thing if you're running on a ball that you've hit. It's another one when you're getting closer and closer to a pop-up for an out in a one-run game to say I've got to manage my leg right now.
No, Hamels with the new baseball back on top of the hill. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carpenter. Just missed inside. 2-2.
That's exactly where he was trying to throw that ball, right where he threw it to the one that Adams got jammed on.
Yep. Box tracker showing you not many pitches in the middle of the plate by Cole Hamels. Broken bat again, and this one scoots through on the left side. Carpenter is aboard with a 2-out single. The 2 walks, 2 singles for Carpenter. And Jeff Bannister is making the slow walk out to the mound. Now, Leadmus Diaz, the shortstop, is the next hitter. And Jeff Bannister headed out to, I believe he's headed out to check personally on Cole Hamels. I don't think he's made his mind up yet as to what he's going to do. And he has now. Giving Cole, I guess, the courtesy of getting out there and saying, okay, you've done your job. Now let me get probably Matt Bush in here to take care of this final out. We'll get you a W here this evening. Hamels finished after 7 2/3 tonight. Shutout baseball, 3 hits. And he is done for the night. Matt Bush trotting in from left center field. The Ranger bullpen. We will take a timeout. We're back to Busch Stadium right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. joined by Cole Hamels on the Ranger bench now. Talking to Martin Perez, Yu Darvish there in the foreground. Great outing tonight, and Matt Bush has been summoned from the bullpen to get this last out of the 8th inning. Matt Bush, his 16th appearance of the year, 2-0. League hitting just .207 against the 30-year-old. 17 strikeouts, 3 walks for Matt Bush, and he will face the rookie shortstop, Aledmys Diaz. Diaz tonight has grounded out twice and flied to right field. Carpenter at first. Here's that cut fastball. Diaz was all pumped up for 96 or 97, and that crossed him up.
That's the second time that's happened to him today. Buzz, I wasn't in Detroit for the game that Cole pitched there, but that game was the best I've seen him this year. I thought he had a little bit more life on his fastball, tighter curveball, best cutter that he's had. Got a lot of outs with his cutter, and enough changeups to keep him off balance. All 4 pitches were working. He was just tremendous tonight.
The only difference I thought, Tom, was just overall command. Tonight, the walks, he did not even scare up a walk in Detroit. Yeah,
and it's a similar kind of a team. Both teams got good hitting ball clubs. We talked about St. Louis before the game started. This is the best offensive team in the National League. And Cole shut them down on 3 hits. A blooper to center, a broken back grounder, and a ground ball to second base into the shift. So what he gave up tonight was very, very little. 3 softly hit singles, and that was it.
And Matt Bush now, the 0-2 advantage in the count. Diaz waiting. Sky to center field. Coming on in, Ian Desmond, and that will do it. So Bush does a good job of getting Diaz. That eliminates the threat in the 8th. No runs, a hit, 1 left. On to the 9th we go. Rangers leading 1-0 on Fox Sports Southwest. A lot of maneuvering going on here, National League style tonight here in St. Louis. Kevin Zegras, the left-hander, has come out of the St. Louis bullpen. This is his 30th appearance of the year, 4-2 with a 3.12 ERA. League hitting just 194 against the big, tall left-hander. And Matt Adams, who pinch hit, stays in the ball game. Adams hits in that number 9 slot. Zegras will hit in the 7th spot, previously occupied by Jed Jerko. And Sam Dyson loosening in that Ranger bullpen. Ranger closer getting all ready to go. And Mitch Moreland has grabbed a bat. He has come off the Ranger bench. He's going to pinch hit for Prince Fielder to start off this 9th inning. Back and out of play. So we've seen an oddity for both managers tonight. Left-handed pitcher on the mound, and you pull the left-hander off the bench to pinch hit. Just don't. You can go a long time without seeing that once, much less twice in the same game. My mistake. We didn't realize that Mitch had come in defensively last half inning. He did. My bad. I got to watch the game closer. One ball and one strike. Segrist back to the plate. Big slow hook that drops into the bottom of the strike zone. It's that 8-game hitting streak he brings into play tonight. 3rd longest active streak in the American League. Down on the count, 1-2. People will lay off. It's 2-2. Mitch has gone on a home run binge on this road trip. 4 home runs, and they have, for the most part, been smoked. Nothing cheap about the home runs he's hit. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Segrist on the verge of walking the leadoff man. Rougned Odor will follow Mitch Moreland. Left-hander ready. The payoff pitch. Call strike 3. He's tailing back to catch the outside corner. Moreland caught looking, out number 1.
Barely a strike. Perfect pitcher's pitch, I guess. Right on, touching the corner.
So next to face Segrist will be Rougned Odor, who's 1 for 3. He's provided the offense for the Rangers tonight. 13th home run of the year, back in the 5th inning. The score of the game for either ball club. Facing Kevin Segrist, a 6'5" left-hander. Florida native. At Palm Beach Community College as his collegiate level playing. Sharply hit to Adams. 2 balls.
Playing way off the line. He's in position to catch that ground ball.
No, base is empty for Elvis Andrus. Elvis tonight has walked and twice grounded out. Rangers a run on 6 hits. Cardinals no runs on 3 hits. Yeah, Elvis almost walked right into that one.
Almost bunted that with his stomach.
I think that's great. That crowd effects mic we have back there.
Or with his kneecap.
Yeah.
Right now, he's just glad that that didn't hit him.
High in the air to left field. Holiday retreating. Just shy of the warning track. And that will do it. Segrist works the 1-2-3 ninth. We're going to the bottom of the ninth at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Sam Dyson time. Here under the Gateway Arch. 1-0 Texans. Sports 1. Prince Fielder and the Rangers taking on Matt Carpenter and the St. Louis Cardinals. 3 o'clock Central Time. Fox Sports 1, the second game of this 3-game series, and we will see if the Rangers go in on a 4-game winning streak, or if the Cardinals are able to come back and prevent that from happening. Sam Dyson has come into the ball game now to pitch the 9th inning. Dyson, the closer, appearing for the 36th time this year. The league is hitting a .209 against him. He's 11 for 12 in save opportunities. 28 strikeouts, 7 walks in his 33 and a third innings. He'll face Matt Holliday, Stephen Piscotty, and Johnny Peralta. So it has been Hamels, Matt Bush, and now Sam Dyson. Last time we saw Sam 2 days ago in Oakland, he picked up his 11th save. And now he goes to work with a belt high strike to Matt Holliday. Holliday 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts, a ground ball to short. Holliday, a .255 hitter. Pitch off the edge. Sam's 1-1. Sharply hit, but right at Elvis. 1 out. Well, the Sam Dyson staple, that good hard sinker. Holliday, the first out. And now Piscotty coming up.
It's a decent pitch to hit, although it's 97 miles an hour. Holliday hit it solidly, but right at Elvis.
Here's Piscotty, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. 0-1. Piscotty walked in the 4th. That was sandwiched in between a ground ball to short and a ground ball to third. Just off the outer edge, 1-1. Piscotty and Dyson have not matched up in regular season play. Sam okays that sign. Foul down a play to the right. 1-2. Jeff Bannister's ball club trying to make it 4 in a row. Keep that lead in the American League West. They are 6.5 games up coming into play tonight. Rougned Odor has provided all they have needed thus far. A 1-0 Ranger lead at the moment. 1-2 pitch. Piscotty is reaching out and spoiling that one.
Yeah, Piscotty's a good hitter. 303 coming into the game, 15th in the National League in hitting.
Now Dyson, another 1-2. Sharply hit, but at Odor. Rougned straightens up, throws him out, 2 gone.
Same thing to the right side. 2 solidly hit ground balls, 1 right at short, 1 right at second. 1 out away.
Now Dyson will face Johnny Peralta. Peralta has seen Sam Dyson before. He's 1 for 4. That one a single. He's also had a couple of punch-outs against Dyson. Peralta tonight 0 for 3. A strike rung up on the outside corner.
Throw 2 more right there. Take your chances.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get hurt too badly throwing right there.
Nope.
Not with the stuff he's got. Target set in the same spot. Line drive up the ladder goes Rougned Odor. He pulls it down, and that is a winner. Sam Dyson with his 12th save of the year. The Rangers win their 4th consecutive game. They are now 6-2 on this road trip as Cole Hamels and the duo of Matt Bush and Sam Dyson blanked the Cardinals on 3 hits tonight in front of a crowd of better than 44,000 here at Busch Stadium.
Well, that was a gem, Buzz. It's fun to watch those games every now and then. You've got the best starting staff in the American League, one of the best anyway, against the best offensive team in the National League, and Cole shut them down. The bullpen came on just like they've done on this road trip and shut them down.